Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live?
From the walk-ons in Bruley. Happy Lundy Gras to you, everyone out there today. Charlie Hannegriff, King of Sucrose, former King of Sucrose, enjoying the festivities back in Franklin. He will be off tomorrow and Tuesday. Max will be joining us shortly over here in his old stomping grounds. And Henry Hayes with us today over here at Walk-ons in Bruley. Henry, how you doing?
I can only hope to adequately fill the unicycle master himself, Charles Hannegriff.
Red Hanny, huh?
Red Hanny, baby.
Red Hanny, yes, indeed. So, look, and this is a great place, for today, tomorrow. Some people's schedules are a little bit altered for the holidays. So, business as usual over here. Well, how about the weather we had this past weekend? Not bad, huh? Not bad, so create a... We avoided the monstrosity, which was supposed to be on Saturday, so that helped out with the Spanish Town attendance. And, all the festivities down in New Orleans yesterday in the outlying areas got great weather yesterday. It was really, really good. And good weather at the box as well. LSU, no surprise. They opened up their series as, if Jay Johnson's such a, just a hard worker. One, that's what he's got his priorities straight. He's here to work and put out the effort, hustle every aspect, and also respectful. I guess you could say, he's accessible. He'll give you. He's respectful to the media when he's got to. What does he do wrong? But there's a little bit of what is it back in the old days? The Catholics versus the Lions or something, or the old theater where one team has no chance. His non-conference scheduling. Charlie likes to tell me it's a confidence builder. Who on their roster are they offering? Their first practice outside was Thursday in Baton Rouge. But still some individual, I guess, evaluations, maybe assessments, and for this much-awaited season. LSU is really, really good. Just imagine that. As long as they don't keep public accounts of this, but nobody's got more of a budget than Johnson does, and maybe nobody works in it. And I really believe not only because of the split between maybe women's basketball and men's baseball at the University of Tennessee, maybe force their guy out who was going to battle, who was going to hustle his boosters to compete. Part of it's like, I ain't dealing with the guy in Baton Rouge. They got the guy he's not leaving any stones unturned. But I don't know how much you can tell from this weekend. So, but Henry, you got to see some of it, but it was kind of a weekend. It was LSU baseball. It's a full slate of college basketball. Some really good numbers. I want to talk to you about the projected number one pick because they ran into a buzzsaw, and that is a very interesting situation in Lawrence, Kansas, with a future Hall of Fame coach. An administration said, how many level one violations do we have? Screw it. Here's your lifetime contract. It lets you know where they are. They're all in. And they had and for the first time of all of Kansas' accomplishments, they beat a number one team at Fog Allen for the first time ever without their best player. Best player comes back this weekend, and about 10 minutes to go, he sits him for the rest of the game. Cyclones were putting it on him. This just in. Cyclones are really good. We gave it out, minus a 6.5, covered easily, pretty much it. And the press conference after how he talks about how, he is sick. He had the flu earlier this week. Okay, but it's so uncomfortable. It takes more finesse, more massaging, more jumping through hoops, multitasking. When to coach and when to pull off, and more than any time, but the Bill Self situation is interesting. NBA All-Star Weekend, the game itself, I thought was considerably better. Henry's got his whole thoughts the whole weekend. No, I didn't even tune in to all the other pomp and circumstance, but the game, just look at the scores. They're playing a little bit more defense. I thought the format was good. It's rotational. And man, all the different quarter games came down to the very end, except the last one. That was a joke. Number one player in the world, when we spoke last, he was 35-1 entering the round 2 in Pebble Beach. Had a so-so day on Friday. He was as much as 100-1 on Sunday. At one point, he was the favorite in Pebble Beach. Did not pull it off. It was Colin Morikawa back to his home, his stomping grounds. The California kid who stayed in state to play at Cal Berkeley, and he wins again in the state of California. He was really, really good. So had a little potpourri of things out there, Henry. What were you taking in the most?
Well, I was lucky enough to go to opening day at the Box, which, it's just there's nothing like that. I love baseball, college baseball. Obviously, the LSU fan base is truly one of a kind. So that was really cool to take that in. In terms of, I'm Team Haney, by the way, against that argument. I'm with him. I think with the revolving door of players today, I understand the scheduling. And I'll say this, give me a better coach in college for his team and just top to bottom running it the way he does than Jay Johnson. Basketball, football, baseball.
Well, he existed before. He was not accomplished because he didn't have the support. I mean, now it's a perfect marriage.
I'm just saying.
There's guys with all the support in the world that, we've seen some come through here that, didn't do it. But we've seen it before.
Yeah.
He went to Omaha once. Not like this.
Yeah.
He's not exhaling.
Well, and Jimmy, think about what he has to sell now. You're now through having a guy come from Air Force that becomes the number one player by far and has a Cy Young under his belt. You have a Dylan Cruz right behind him. Then you have a kid like Dickinson who comes from Utah Valley State. Can he make the jump? Not only to make the jump, he wins a ring and gets drafted. So the story really begins to build. And like you said, I mean, if he wants a guy, good luck beating him on that kid. And so, we'll see if the chemistry can come together. We'll see about the league. We'll see about the guys' effect in Mississippi State. I think they're going to be heard from. Florida, O'Sullivan's back. There's a lot of really good stories in the league this year.
Who's still got everything going now? Mississippi State raised their bar up a lot,
Facility,
because
stadium.
Well, they promised him so much player budget, and that got his attention to go from Virginia, where he has a national championship, to Mississippi State. The other one, the biggest bear in the room is, Arkansas still there, but Schlossnagle at Texas with the resources they have.
That's right.
So, we've seen this guy do it with, as an assistant, as a head coach, with multiple friends. One win away from the national championship at Texas A&M. TCU, he took UNLV to the tournament. So he's done a lot of places, and he's got all of the resources in the world. And then I guess Arkansas. But I just don't, I just don't. Man, I can't get overly, I can't get too excited about, sweeping Milwaukee.
No.
Now, the individual performances, and I guess we start with Sunday, because William Schmidt turned down more than anybody on this roster, probably to play college baseball. Didn't true freshman year was sort of, just a little bit of a mild disappointment. Charlie tells me that his spin rate is up. I don't know how your spin rate goes down, because that's the one thing. When he threw one pitch with Mississippi State, the original team on him early in his high school career, spin rate says, no, you got a full ride if you want. No, first round draft pick. That's why he's going to. So how do you lose your spin rate is puzzling to me. But anyway, they said it's back up. And his stuff was good, but, maybe, he struck out a lot of batters, but maybe nibbling a little bit too much, Henry. And the fact that, you're not going to challenge these hitters more with the walks. So, hey, maybe a guy like Schmidt this soft non-conference schedule may be the recipe to build up his. Man, you got to challenge hitters.
That, and he does not do well, Jimmy, when he's behind. 2-0 counts are not his friend.
Nobody does.
So yeah, well, it depends. But I think, look, the velo was really good. That 12-6 curveball is legit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's mound reps for him. And obviously they really like him, and for good reason. And so, I think also there's a lot of power arms in that pen now that he's loaded. I think this might be tip to tip. You don't have a Kate Anderson yet, but tip to tip, this might be his deepest pitching staff.
Just college baseball finally, moving along. Finally getting up for that 11.7 strap. Finally, that's we see for Major League Baseball to hire a college coach was unheard of forever. And you see some assistants are going from Major League Baseball to college jobs because there's more money there. And I could see, it's not football, it's not even basketball, but the NIL/player salary, player budget, it exists. And look, LSU, they're going to. I was even listening to a Tennessee basketball game a few weeks ago, and guess what they were advertising during their, it was their flagship, and they were advertising during their commercial break. Their first pitch banquet. I mean, success is mimicked, in all industries. And so that's the ultimate compliment when they say, oh, no, they're doing it. We got to do this, too, to try and get it. So anyway, but, the biggest, and a lot of people locally are, they're eager to just get their first look at this rent-a-win in Wisconsin, Milwaukee that comes in. But there's no doubt the biggest buzz on campus this past weekend was at the Maravich Assembly Center. And I'm listening to some national shows on Sunday, and we know about they had the college game day, the men's early, I think it was at Ames, and then evening they did a show, a little preview show, pregame, at the PMAC before they televised on ABC on a network prime time with LSU in South Carolina. LSU in position, of all people. Who do you want more at the line in that situation, that spot, than Flau'jae Johnson? She just doesn't do it. And even Don Stanley said after, she doesn't miss something like that. But the people just talking about women's basketball, college women's basketball, and just the atmosphere that was the PMAC on Saturday night. Some people were blown away.
Well, none of that, Jimmy, but the secondary ticket prices.
I know.
You're talking hundreds, if not in some cases, 1,000 to sit on the front row, and we haven't seen that in ever there. So great atmosphere. And then, look, the game was on ABC. It was not on ESPN.
I know.
So that's a prime time women's basketball matchup. And boy, you got to give it to Dawn Staley as much as she's not liked around here as an ex-coach. Myself, I tip my hat because she has continued to restock her talent. She does it with different players, different styles, in an environment like that, and they come out with the win. She owns, I think it's 18 in a row now.
In a game that clearly meant more to Milwaukee,
to
LSU.
Yeah. I think she's 0-6 now against her.
I think so.
Coming back.
Whatever. It's 0-18 is what the school is against Staley. On this run. I mean, it's
that's ownership.
Yeah. And
it's like my Dodgers over your Cubs.
No. Well, I mean, who's got the most budget?
Here we go. Max, get the little fiddle out. It's crying.
Oh, Henry, no, it's just reality. I mean,
Steve Cohen gave $700 million to Juan Soto. That's not a Dodger contract.
Oh, I understand. But I'll take my chances with the biggest budget. You want LSU's baseball budget, or you want Wisconsin, Milwaukee?
It didn't work for George Steinbrenner for 15 years. He spent the most.
He had a lot of wins in there too.
He did.
You don't think they've dipped since Little George started penny pinching?
Big time.
Don't give me stuff. Don't just try and say it applies to every sport, but your beloved Dodgers.
Money,
give me a break.
Money in and of itself, it does not guarantee you anything.
Oh, it puts you in position.
Ask Anthony Rendon and his contract with the Angels how that went. So they're bad contracts too.
Oh, of course there are. Of course there are. You're going to talk about the Angels because with the Dodgers, they can afford mistakes.
Yes. Yep.
And
they
the
don't make a lot
others
of mistakes.
cannot.
There's not a lot. They don't have a lot of anchor contracts around their neck that are fully guaranteed. That's where they've hit. And the Max Muncie's and the Chris Taylors and the folks that got cut, quite frankly, that's the other piece of there. And then the number 17, the two-way player, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Yes, yes. So they are. No, we can't fault, but once upon a time they have replaced what the Yankees were. You cannot argue that.
Oh, they're the black hat for sure.
No. Well, I mean, they're at the top. They have the most resources. They have the biggest budget, and they are following it up with some wins. It took some heroics in Toronto in Game 7.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about that, but still, we got to go to a break right now. We'll take out our first time. We're live here at Bruley's and Walk On in Bruley's. Let me get it straight. So the Bruley Walk-Ons, something about crossing that bridge. But anyway, hey, if you're over here, hey, Mardi Gras, you got off. Man, we got all the games on over here in our umpteen televisions that we have. The thing you're going to get at Walk-Ons anywhere you go is they are committed to showing all the games. College basketball, men and women, is outstanding right now. Hey, you got the LSU games, the baseball games, and other college baseball games. A lot of them for opening weekend this past weekend around the country as well. We can get to some of those on streaming as well. And also a great bar, great service. They've been solid, consistent food every time you come over here to Walk-Ons. Walk-Ons in Bruley, where, man, it's getting to warmer temperatures, and enjoy the patio. Cornhole champion Max Gautreaux, he can tell you all about that as well. We're at Walk-Ons in Bruley. It's live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Max, how are you doing, sir? Miss Max joins us over here as we continue live at lunch, live from Bruley Walk-Ons.
Doing well today. How's life here on the best side?
It's good, man. I'm glad to be here. Absolutely. So, we do it once a month on a Monday over here. Our buddy Ryder Semino doing a great job over here. He's been in the food and beverage industry for many, many years. So, doing it over here for the Walk-On. So, I told you that kid, that skater, man, he was the nuts. It just, there's the quad god. I mean, has there ever been a more of a bust of a pick than that?
Yeah, what a lock.
What was he on Kalshi?
I saw 92%, I want to say, right before the tournament really got underway for the gold medal. And, he basically admitted he choked. I mean, he talked to the media, and it got to him. And it was very, very surprising. I didn't see it live, but saw some of the highlights, and then, they do the encore at night. But, yeah, very stunning to see an upset like that in men's ice skating, even though I know nothing about it.
Well, odds. What, 92% of Kalshi, that equate into just minus 920? 920 to 1?
Not exactly. It's a little less than that. I'm doing it in my head. It's probably
or 92 to 8. I mean, you want to multiply. I mean, it's.
I would say.
Would that be 11, 12 to 1?
I mean, I'm gonna give you an exact answer, so I'll
get
most that for you. But
nondescript Winter Olympics of my lifetime. Just there's no sizzle. I didn't even know when the opening ceremonies was happening.
I've liked it. I watch it more because
where are the big names?
There's part of it. If you want to follow the main sports, you can follow the the home cooking court cases and college eligibility, and get into all that. You can follow the nonsense which we mentioned earlier about Self and Peterson, they're just his agent who sits behind the bench goes and tells the coach when he can and when he can't play. As he did in the game against BYU right after halftime, where they had like a 21-point lead. Next thing you know, they're basically tied. If you follow the news part of college athletics, give me the Olympics because those athletes trained. It's not motivated all by money. They're competing, and they're giving you out. And They're doing, you know what, Henry, what we want to see in all of our sports? We want to see these guys do something we can't do. Well, they're doing that. Now, I mean, to a fault, like Lindsey Vonn, really? You're going to still go downhill with a torn ACL? Yeah, that might not be the smartest idea. But
look, they get once every 4 years. I mean, this is their big thing for these athletes, and minus 11.
So you were more glued to the dunk contest, the skills.
Geez.
Are we still having a guy that's not competing not in the NBA, who's competing in the dunk contest like McClung?
That dog has been needed to be put down, and I think Adam Silver actually ran for cover having the dunk contest because he didn't want to answer more questions about the tanking, which is a really big problem. So,
when you have 9 teams tanking before the All-Star break, yeah, it's a problem. And how are they going to restructure all that?
Well, you talk about the prices they're asking for their season ticket holders to pay, plus the TV rights deal. That's the big one. And it's gotten so bad that guys are playing a half and then not in the second half. I mean,
like Utah's up and they pull all the guys who got them to lead. Yeah,
it's just. But here's the problem. Guess what? They've all seen what Sam Presti has been able to pull off. Now, that's literally once in a generation, if not the history of the league.
What?
Oklahoma City is as positioned as anyone has ever been with respect to tanking and it working.
So John Henry, I mean, they tanked a lot for a while?
Multiple years.
Okay.
And then obviously traded James Harden, traded Kevin Durant, stockpiled those draft picks. Think about the trade for Kawhi to the Clippers. And look what Shea's not only turned into, but that deal was also laden with picks.
Paul George.
Paul George.
Like
Thank
Kawhi
you. They got Shai back.
Playing with Oklahoma City.
I mixed my superstars, but that's all that they're aiming to do. In other words, the GM kind of memorandum in the NBA is you can't be kind of good. You got to either stink or be really good.
So guess what? We don't know how this new format. Why you can't stand pat with the actual game. Okay, so they come up with this new format and said, this Four Nations deal, these hockey guys, hey, this guy's risking. They're on their way to another title. He's risking his health status, his availability for the NHL playoffs, and that was a big debate. But they were all in. How much, would this be something? And we talked about it on Friday. No, they're not going to care. They're not going to. Did you watch Kawhi Leonard? He was playing. He was playing on. Especially, they're definitely prioritizing not getting hurt. So they do. You will see a little bit more snowbirds. You do see some of that. You will see a little bit Matador. But you also see a little bit of defense. And in the last 2-3 minutes of the quarter, you got close to an actual real game. Watch some of the regular season games. Scoring, obviously down. So I liked it. I thought it was good. The last one where you have the 3-team round robin, so 12 minutes, was a flop because they were dead. But they just didn't lay down and let the king just win his. They made there was a LeBron tax on the line, by the way, in that. So I liked it. I thought it was way, way improved. And I just don't know how else you're going to get them to play anything that's even watchable minus this format.
Those multiple games, it might have been a little confusing at first, and I know we debated it on Friday with Charlie about, the format and why don't you just make it a one game.
What's confusing? There's 3 teams. They play each other twice.
When you got to the last game, one team could have lost by 2 or had to win by 3 to get in.
A tiebreaker, you go on scoring differential.
Sure, but
and how is that confusing?
Overall, Charlie just wanted U.S. versus world, and I get that sentiment, but I do think that this was actually a better format because you saw early in the quarters, each of these little games, early on it was a little bit lazy, and then as it got nearer to the end, well, if you have a full game, they're going to be lazy for a whole half, a first half, 3 quarters, and then pick up the pace at the very end. So the fact that it was a 12-minute game for each of these did make it a little more enticing, a little more defensive.
And the NBA is not alone in trying to put defibrillator paddles on their All-Star game. The NFL, it's a flag football game. Just announce
the Pro Bowl team.
That's it.
Let that stand on its own. Not when you have a guy that has more interceptions than touchdowns, and you're Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's time to take it out back and put it out some misery.
MLB toyed around with Max. How many years did they have where if the AL won the All-Star game, their team would host?
They tried.
Come on,
Right.
I don't need the one representative of Kansas City, influencing who hosts the World Series, and so these are hard to. I think the televisable parts of these games are tough.
But the Major League Baseball is going to stand because you can actually simulate hitters and batters going, but pitchers and batters going against.
It's hard to tank that.
It's. I mean, you're not going to step into an inside pitch. He's not going to brush you off either. So I mean, it's you even had when Cal Ripken plays. Okay, let's just serve him one up so he can. But
now having said that, the tension and the drama when Shohei Ohtani faced Mike Trout in the World Baseball, that was awesome.
I thought it was great.
That was incredible.
I thought it was great. Old timers like Mad Dog Russo, who's a baseball guy, just refuse to embrace it. But I love it, and I love also that
incredible.
They're playing hard. They're playing hard. So what international competition and the thing about this basketball, these guys and these salaries to get them to care about something they're not. That's about all you're going to get, man. Right. That's about the max. I thought it was maxed out as far as what you're going to get these guys to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'll watch it again, too. I watched every dribble of it, minus about once we got to about 25 to 7 in the final 12-minute game. So that was about it.
It was big for Adam Silver because this, I'm sure, was part of what he would have sold to NBC when they were getting the media rights. Like, we're going to reform, the All-Star game. We're going to put it on NBC. We're going to make it a bigger deal. Obviously, the rest of the All-Star games were pretty. The games themselves, the three-point contest were pretty much a flop. You have somebody who hadn't played all year, and Damian Lillard win a three-point contest, but. Overall, it was an improvement, so you got to give him credit for that.
Didn't watch any of the skills competition, but I did watch the game, and I'll watch it again. Don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060. Live at lunch, live from Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
All right, Troy, so a lot of college basketball, NBA All-Star Weekend, Pebble Beach, the Olympics, women's basketball, a little bit of everything in the open of college baseball. What were you glued to this past weekend, Troy?
Well, for me, it was obviously college basketball. Dabbled a little bit in the Olympics. I watched less than a minute of NBA All-Star Weekend, which is clearly the least I've ever watched. Maybe it's because I got two kids now, or as a lot of the discourse was around this weekend, it was the weekend itself didn't matter. Like, the Saturday night was as boring as I ever remember. I saw a minute of the first game of the tournament or whatever they do on Sunday. Apparently it got rave reviews, the new format, but I usually am glued to the three-point contest and the dunk contest. I am an avid fan of dunking. I think other than buzzer beaters, it's my favorite part of basketball. And the dunk contest was, what I've read is an abomination. We also, at the sportsbook, we took a ton of money on the Pebble Beach program, good amount of tickets on the Daytona 500. The two U.S. hockey games rated well, so it was a good, well-balanced weekend.
How many people bet on the NBA game last night?
It is not registering at all in the top 50 weekend events. So, okay. I think because we probably broke it up into, the game, like there are how many games they played, 5 or something. There were 3 teams, so it's harder to bet on beforehand. Where there's a week to build up to East versus West or World versus U.S. whatever they do. But here it's like a tournament, so we took far fewer bets and money on this in advance, and that's really where these events pile up is in the hour or two beforehand, and that wasn't the case with this format.
The LSU South Carolina women's game. I'm wondering if that registered this past weekend as far as the handle is concerned.
Yeah, it was I believe it was the second most wagered on women's game, and it rates in the top 50. Certainly behind some of the premier soccer matches over in Europe, but it did six figures in handle, which is nice. We've seen a little bit of a leveling out of women's college basketball handle in the last 2 years. Obviously, with Caitlin Clark not being there, that's really what raised the tide for them. But we're seeing some sustainability, and certainly the people who did start betting on women's college basketball 2 years ago have stuck around. It has not been a massive decline, and it's kind of in the early 2020s, 2021, we were getting mid five figures on key games, and now we're getting low to mid six figures, which is a very healthy number.
Pebble Beach with those drone shots. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, it's just really, really fun to watch. And then here you go, second straight week, the world's number one digs himself a hole and just comes storming back. I have to believe that a lot of the golf handle was maybe taking some shots on some big numbers over the course of Saturday and Sunday with Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We took a pretty decent win there on Pebble Beach. And it's a little surprising just because, you could get Colin Morikawa at pretty good odds. We paid out winners at 60-1 and 45-1, and there was a 200-1 in there. I don't know when it was placed. So there were winners to be had, but when Scotty starts roaring back, Sunday morning, I checked the Sunday afternoon, and we had taken a ton of large bets on him. Another surprising one is obviously overseas, but Live Golf. We took just a crazy amount of money on John Rahm. I think him and DeChambeau being kind of in the final pairing there, and then Anthony Kim roaring back. We took several dozen 90-1 tickets on Anthony Kim to win, and we probably took mid six figures on John Rahm live. So a lot of losses there, but the weekend after the Super Bowl, we think it shifts rates to college basketball. But with the Olympics and you have Daytona 500 and Pebble Beach, and there's just a lot of different betting options. So this was a very, very healthy weekend in terms of being across the board.
Max, why? The Anthony Kim got a little run. Why? I can't tell you where to find Live Golf. I can't. I don't follow it. You'll hear a blurb, but is he that popular where people were pulling for him?
He had a bit of a cult following. He went away from the game for 12 years. Part of it was insurance. He got injured and was getting paid basically to not play golf anymore. Also had some, deeply personal issues with, addiction and whatnot. And he had a cult following. He was very popular back in the 2000s in Tiger Woods era. He was fist pumping. He had a big bedazzled belt buckle, basically.
Yeah.
He was an exciting figure, and he had never come top 20 at Live. And then stares down Bryson and Rahm, who had a 5-shot lead going in the final round. You think it's going to be a 2-horse race. Anthony Kim shoots 9 under, and they go backwards, and he wins by 3. And it was on Fox at 10-12. It was in Australia, so it was on national TV, and you could find it. I watched a good bit of the final round, actually.
So it was almost it was a Pebble Beach appetizer. Or Pebble Beach started early because
this was at 10 to noon or 10 to midnight. So this was at night because it was in Australia.
This is late Friday.
Prime
Saturday
time
night
after the basketball ends,
you.
Basically, you're able to turn on the golf as well.
Okay, so Max, when Scheffler went from as high as like 100-1 to the betting favorite, do you think he was going to win?
I didn't think so. I thought there were too many birdies out there. There was a forecast of more wind to come. I had a Scheffler ticket. I just didn't think he was going to get through. I think he needed too many birdies, and he made 3 bogeys, so that there was a chance for him to get there. He made 3 bogeys. He missed a couple short 5-foot putts, but ultimately there were too many birdies out there in that final round with them having to move the pins and slow down the greens.
Sam Burns had the lead and had his swagger back, and then the quote-unquote strongest putter on the tour. It's a really, really a 3-footer, 4-footer, and which could have put him in sole lead. But he's and then just kind of faltered a little bit down the stretch. But he was in position. Was he the betting favorite at any chance?
He was. I looked at one point. I thought it would be Morikawa at one point, and it was Burns, a 5-time Tour winner that hasn't won in over 1,000 days at this point. It's a little bit worrisome. He lost in a heartbreaker last year in a playoff in the Canadian Open, lost late in the American Express. We'll see. I mean, he was 2 shots back on the final hole and hits iron off the tee when he could have made eagle. Just some questionable moments.
The only time of the 72 holes, I think he questioned himself because I thought he had his swagger back. Saturday, I was watching a lot. You saw that impossible shot where he had to hit it and bounce it still kind of in the rough area and kind of trickle it toward. And the announcers like saying, "Don't try that."
Started and finished his third round on Saturday with an eagle hole out and a birdie hole out on 18.
Yeah. Matt, I'm sorry, Henry.
Yeah, Troy, I was wondering, so pitchers and catchers reported last week. When do you guys get like MLB futures activity? Do most of the big money wait to see some of the spring training? Is there value now? When does that money start to come in?
We don't see a huge deluge in tickets or money because of pitchers and catchers. It typically probably starts right around winter meetings is when you see obviously, there's a little bit of a surge right after the season, and then you probably see a lot in mid-December. And now it's a decent flow, but it isn't as much as, football's over, we shift, and people start dumping in on pitchers and catchers. I honestly don't think it's, the odds change all that much during this time. Really, I think when you see a lot of the odds changes when there's transactions. So, again, we're talking the December, January period around winter meetings.
Troy, what was your biggest takeaway in the college basketball scene this past weekend?
Oh, gosh. There's a team that no one's talking about. They will be talking about them now. But if you look at the Big 12, obviously, Arizona was undefeated, number 1 team in the country. Kansas has the most high-profile player in Darren Peterson, but he's never playing. They had a really good surge back to become Kansas again. Iowa State is one of the top 5 best teams in the country. A.J. DeBonta has been the number 1 pick, maybe now the number 2 pick. There's so many talking points. The Big 12 is obviously a basketball conference. Texas Tech beat Arizona at Arizona. Texas Tech, last week, you could get them 40-1 to win the national championship. That is silly. They're a top 15, top 20 team. They have J.T. Toppin, who was amazing against Arizona, who is a first-team All-American. He was doing everything, not just scoring. The fact that Texas Tech gets lost in that conference, certainly the defense isn't as good as it was a few years ago when they were elite defensively locked down, but they're a very hard-nosed team. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the national championship, but they have one of the most impressive wins of the year, beating Arizona at Arizona.
Oh.
Now, Arizona's coming off of a loss at Allen Fieldhouse. Obviously, sometimes losses comes in twos. But Texas Tech, I mean, if you can find them at 20-1, that's a ticket I would buy just because they have superstar talent, they have guard play, they have coaching, and they play defense. And those are the things you need to win in March.
I thought impressive win. I thought he was going to say a 24-point neutral site win over LSU, but I guess not.
Who's that?
Texas Tech.
No, Max.
That game was over before it started.
LSU basketball season ticket holder, Max Gotro. So, Troy, but tell me, what are we talking about? What is the best if that's not the best? Going to Arizona and beating them when they're not happy coming off of a loss, which, I mean, come on, you're going to lose at some point in there. And, I mean, it took an unbelievable home court atmosphere. I mean, Fog Allen's been really good. That fan base knew what was going on with Peterson. They knew that crew without their star. They wanted to show him and wanted to give that team a little extra boost against number 1 Arizona. And I thought Arizona, I mean, that was, I'll tell you what, the betting public, they sure bet Arizona on Saturday like they were going to bounce back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, we took a 6-figure win on that game. That was the most popular game to bet on and the second most wagered on game. Surprisingly enough, the most wagered on game of the weekend was Santa Clara versus Gonzaga. Now, it was a late-night game. It builds up to it. Gonzaga, very short road favorites at a very good Santa Clara team. But, people were definitely on Arizona to bounce back. I mean, their quality of their roster is still good. They have size, they have shooters, they have freshman phenoms. They're just incredible. But every team loses, unless you play in the MAC and you don't schedule a strong non-conference where people won't play you. But every team's going to lose. But we took I think we took like a $5,000 bet at Texas Tech live 6-1, which hit. So I mean, this is just, I say this a lot, especially on Twitter. This has been an amazing college basketball season because we have all the freshman talent, and there's hopefully this will be an amazing draft class. But when top 25 teams play, I swear every game has met expectations, and you don't always get that. The hype isn't always matched in title fights and things like that. Rarely does the hype get met. In college basketball this year, it feels like every marquee game has lived up or met expectations, and that's such a good thing to have happen as we hit the home stretch towards March.
Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macker. That's MACHIR. Great stuff, Troy. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you Friday.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, we're live here at Walk-Ons in Brewley, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brewley on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Short sec here, wrapping up hour number one. Mardi Gras season. Happy Lundi Gras to everybody. Charlie will be out to Lundy and Mardi Gras. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'm taking tomorrow off. Lane Kiffin decided to mix in a revelry. Endymion, is that right?
With the Odell jersey on.
Yes.
Tell me that's not on brand. I love it.
Taking up. Brought the kid. Was the kids on them with the float with him?
I think so.
Is that's that big tiger that they rolled all the way up to Omaha. And the owner was the Jello shop place. What's the name of it again? Rocco's,
yes.
Yeah, the Rocco's. Hey man, I got a 100-foot tiger or something. Can I park it? He's like, no, you can't park it in front. Omaha is pretty law-abiding type of community.
Yeah.
That's why they kind of do things the way they are. It's Middle America. It's not just plop the. Hell yeah, sure. NOPD, I don't care. We'll watch it for a little bit. So I don't know, but yes, Lane Kiffin getting all in. Taking part in the facility. And then I see him and his son relaxing in Boca on Sunday.
We'll get around.
It's not a bad.
That's his nephew, yeah.
That's his nephew.
Yes.
That's right.
Cookie,
yes.
So
Cookie Kiffin.
The most popular person in LSU, I think, right now is Cookie Kiffin, for whatever reason.
Is that right?
Apparently he's a great recruiter.
He's all over social.
That's what people want to believe.
That's right. I didn't know. So maybe count me out as far as on this.
You don't count you don't follow the 9-year-old influencers?
No, I'm sorry. I don't.
What's wrong with you?
Yes, but there's one guy that I do follow.
Tom Mars.
Tom Mars has weighed in on the Jerome Tang firing with cause in Manhattan, Kansas. Of course, one of the toasts of that tournament in Madison Square Garden where they lost to Florida Atlantic. They whooped up on Kentucky along the way. He fired in on this one. We're live here at Walk-Ons in Brewley, live at lunch on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Brewley on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Well, the news side of college athletics is you see that, some coaches are tired of the new rules of the game and roster building and everything else. And, yeah, you can really probably, if you follow the news enough, you probably just can completely turn yourself off to, enjoying the sports. I try to tune it out. Trying to enjoy the games. I think that college football is the level of play is better than ever. I know that the college basketball game is at a high, way higher than it's been. College baseball, way higher than it's been. And so, and then you got to figure out if, the eligibility stuff and stuff like that. But some coaches are still trying to talk through the media to their team to try and motivate. And whether you're Jerome Tang at Kansas State, Rick Pitino has done it. On the women's side, the coach at Texas, oh my gosh. I mean, just completely destroying. But basically called him out for, we're trying to We're trying to evaluate, Hart and this. I'm trying to coach Hart and this. And that. The obvious thing, what's going on with Bill Self and Kansas, he finds out, 10, 15 minutes advance notice sometimes before they tip whether his star is going to play or not through his star's agent. But Jerome Tang, whose team has struggled, and he went – it was after they got ripped at home. We'll take the win. Cincinnati. We had Cincinnati on the road. They destroyed Kansas State by about 20, and they were never in it. And then they're getting ready to take on a much bigger, a tougher game this weekend where they really didn't have much of a chance to win. But he was fired after the loss from Kansas State. Okay. Pay him his $18 million. No, they fire him with cause. They fire him saying that he embarrassed the university. Tom Mars weighs in and says, here's his quote. This is classic. Public disrepute, embarrassment, ridicule are the legal code words for we're going to try and stiff our head men's basketball coach because we can't afford to honor his buyout. And we hope to gain some negotiating advantage. Got to pay the man his money.
That does bring up the interesting part, Jimmy, and this is obviously the Matt McMahon conversation, which is it's not just Matt's buyout, but it's the new coach and it's the money for your roster. So does this trigger ADs to actually get sober about these contracts?
And staff as well.
Right.
Got to include that.
Because the LSU things that you're talking about, that's a $15 to $18 million minimum number. Like that's on the cheap side.
In fact, they got to pay whether they keep him or not. They kept him here, and this was, I don't know. Max said he thought it was a tournament team, but I never saw that. But they spent north of $9 million this year. So whether he's here or not, they're going to. You're not going to pay him. You're not give him anything.
Well, the point is,
and they still suck.
The money you're going to pay to buy him out should go to, the players.
The money, the player budget's going to be there no matter what, Henry.
Yeah.
Okay. So they paid $9.2 million. Say they pay $9.2 the next year, or $10 million. That's going to be there. Now, you bring in a guy like Will Wade, and who has some private donor support built in. It might not cost you as much, but we'll see about that. It's. When you see the women's arena and the men's the last two times, bro, it's night and day, and it's all about winning. And how do you – Max, you didn't even go to the game. You go to every game. You didn't go to the last one, right?
I did go to the last one. I think that's my last one.
Well, what's the one you missed? Oh, you didn't watch the other game on Saturday.
Well, yeah, I couldn't watch much of it on Saturday. I listened to it. But I've been to the last PMAC game of the year. I don't think I'll be back. I'll tell you that. And I was one of the few stragglers that was there at the very end of the last game when they played at home.
Mississippi State?
Against Arkansas.
Against Arkansas, okay.
Arkansas was their most recent home game. But, yeah, it's a library in there. It's quiet. You hear the opposing fans as much as anybody in the second halves in most of these games. It's Bush League, though, to try to do this, to get out of a buyout. Why have the buyouts in the first place? We argue they've gotten egregious, but you're giving them. You're signing these contracts to begin with. You deserve to honor those contracts. And my understanding of Jerome Tang here is he's been a little critical in press conferences, about his players. He talked about removing their nameplates and stuff. Is that enough to void this guy's contract? It's egregious. It's stupid. But, maybe they'll work it out. Ultimately, Brian Kelly is going to get his full deal. And
it's a negotiating. It's a negotiating tactic. They're trying to buy.
Yeah, they want to settle.
Yeah,
they want to settle on it. But to me, this gets. I'm not looking to settle. No, you just. Can they even suspend him? They certainly reprimand him for anything. I thought it was a little strong. He doesn't have the roster. Now, does he? They actually competed a little bit more on Saturday, way more than they did the time before. Who knew? What's your task after you get ripped by your coach? Let's go down to Houston and play those guys. That's what they played on Saturday, and they were more competitive. Never really a threat to win the game, but not embarrassed. Came under the number. I know that. So, it's I mean, did Kansas State overreact and play Jerome Tang more because they made that Elite Eight run? Yes. I mean, that happens all the time where you get stuck with it because you overpaid. Henry, what about Self and Peterson? Has Peterson cost himself the number one pick?
Boy,
I know we got to identify who's going to have that number one pick through this mass, a tank job that we got 9 competitors, kind of fighting for the enough ping pong balls.
Yeah, I can say we have not had a number one pick with that anchor around his neck ever. So that's going to be a tough one to live down.
Minus 310 to be number one, Peterson.
I know there's DeBonta is laying it. You just watch the games. You don't have to know anything. He's available for all of them. Peterson has roughly missed half the games for various reasons, and we can see what's happening because the Kansas folks are dying for some dirt on this whole agent process, and it's beyond a conspicuous point at this point. I mean, no, you gotta play through some type of pain, some type of injuries, and I just think with such a deep class, Henry, why wouldn't you take a DeBonta who's playing hard, or a guy that his dad ain't gonna allow him to tank and be a dog,
Boozer.
And that's Boozer.
That's right.
Now he might not have the upside, but how is he? He can't be a Karl Malone type.
Well, that's a different level. He's not. He's nowhere near that thick. I mean, Karl Malone was. You had leg strength, arm strength, and
as a freshman in college, where's Karl Malone?
Yeah, fair, but I don't know. I don't know if Boozer's going to end up looking like that. But time will tell. But look, I mean, clearly his game levels up to the NBA. He'll be just fine. A stretch 4 could shoot it. Has a lot of skill. He's 18 years old, so
right.
He's going to be just fine. But yeah, there's a lot of questions with. I mean, and look at Kansas. You're at KU. You're not going to, Washington State or random. That is as blue blood as they come, and it's not a good look.
So I think there's money to be made on DeBonta, or Boozer.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 5-1 basically. Plus 500.
Plus 330 on DeBonta.
330 on DeBonta. It's trickling down. But more and more people are going that way. The funny thing is, some people link that DeBonta with Utah. Well, Salt Lake City, the Utah fans, they hate everything BYU. So it would be, I guess, if he plays for him, it would be a little bit different situation. But he's given an NBA team every reason to not to draft him. I'm sorry. I mean, it's almost like going out of your way and almost throw it in the face and in the load management era of the NBA. I mean, he's putting a hand. He's letting you know exactly that he's probably going to play 50, 55 games a year. Even though he's healthy to go in 82.
It's like we're already starting this, and it's not a good. Look.
So we all got bent out of shape because Bediako, left Alabama. He went to, but you have to follow the money as far as Bediako is concerned, because why did Bediako leave college to go to the G League? There's more money. Mm-hmm. So why does he want to leave the G League to go back to college? It's more money. So at what point does college athletics govern itself and say that, man, we're overpaying these guys for college basketball?
But who's going to blink?
Nobody. We're talking about $45 to $50 million payroll at LSU football this year. I mean, I'm going to leave my team headed to the playoffs as well.
By the way, is there over/under still at 8.5 in Vegas?
I think so. It's very early.
Yeah, rosters are set.
This is This is a phenomenal home game schedule. This is
best I've ever seen.
Clemson, Alabama, Texas. I mean, just
A&M.
Texas A&M. It's a really
even Louisiana Tech. I mean, it's not It's a couple.
Yeah,
I'm saying
we'll sell that to Max.
Okay, hold on. It could be Southern, or it could be,
Yes, it could be. It could be. But as far as getting rid of those super, the FCS, cream puffs, when you added a conference game in the SEC, those things are not going away.
Otter,
that's 2 of the 4. You got to play a Power 4 non-conference opponent and another SEC opponent, especially the Kentuckys of the world. No, it's done.
I mean, they have McNeese too. It's not like they don't have one of those teams.
What's that?
They've got McNeese next year as well. They've got La Tech and McNeese.
La Tech and McNeese.
I'll put you both on the spot. What's the over/under on LSU's points per game next year? What gets you action both ways?
It's a tough schedule. I'd put it around 40. What did they average at Ole Miss? Ole Miss's schedule is much lighter this year.
Do you remember the
last 2 years
when they were chasing him, Jimmy? It was a televised broadcast, and they showed his 5 stops the year before he got there, and then his first year there, offensive production.
All you need to see is go to YouTube it and watch it on YouTube. The very first game against Florida and Ole Miss, that was COVID year when you could not schedule as much. They played a conference-only schedule, and he's hitting chunk plays after chunk plays. I think it was Corral's first year there, and it was very low. Like, what do you mean? Doing that at Florida Atlantic and doing it in the SEC is 2 different things. They lost the game because they couldn't stop anybody, had no personnel on defense. But the offense and the chunk plays, they were immediate. So
Ole Miss had 37 points per game this season.
37 this past year?
Yes.
So maybe I'm a little high. Maybe I might.
40?
No. I said 40. I said it might have to go into high 30s, like 37, 38.
I was thinking 35 and a half, something like that. Might be a little low, but.
Well, they'll score 55 in the 2 rental wins.
Right.
But 35 I think is 37 and a half. What did he average the year before at Ole Miss with Dart?
36.9 last year, 38.6 the year before with Dart.
Now they losing. Because that non-conference schedule was terrible. Tulane was their toughest team, and they went through them like it was nothing. Tulane could not compete. We saw them twice this past year against them. So, it was really, really bad. Their non-conference schedule. So, and the conference schedule, it's a tough schedule, Henry. So,
yeah, but there's a lot of change.
Let me tell you this: I held an over 8.5 ticket on LSU after the Clemson game, and I was ready to cash it.
Yeah.
Okay. How'd that work out for me? Okay. All right.
Birdcage feeder.
I had an Ilya Malanin, gold medal ticket. No, I didn't have that, but that poor guy was, we have to see. We have to see, and maybe it will be interesting. And Charlie is convinced. He's convinced that it's the human dislike element for Lane Kiffin will affect LSU's preseason ranking. I'm like, well, you got to move to an emotion that where they take an industry where they take the emotion out of it. Some people still like to bet on what they want to pull for, but if the guys in Vegas are wrong, they have to pay for it. So they're not putting it out. And LSU is the 7th lowest odds to win the whole thing. And I think that's fair. I don't see where LSU's roster is going to take a backseat to anybody's. I really don't. I could be wrong, but now is he? He had a good payroll at Ole Miss. He's getting more of a player-influenced roster here. I
don't think enough.
Will he still be able to have the coaching impact on these guys?
I don't think enough's being made, Jimmy, of the moves they made on defense. The offense is sizzling, I get it, but that defense, and I know we had the Blake Baker conversation last week, but
well, they had a good defensive personnel this year.
Yeah.
Did they not?
They did. I think.
And they were good, not great, on defense.
They had a really bad
when
half
they started
against-
playing when they played stronger offensive teams. When they played Ole Miss went up and down the field on them. When they played Oklahoma, well, yeah, kept us in the game. You know, I mean, when you played the stronger teams, you know, when Alabama was not as strong this year, and if they didn't give them that free possession before half, that game could have been very close. But the defense kept them in that game.
Oklahoma.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I think it was Alabama.
I said Oklahoma. I said Oklahoma first. I said Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, Florida. Were they great on offense?
No.
LSU's strength was against teams that couldn't run the ball, that didn't have that balance. Alabama and Oklahoma specifically were good matchups for them because, you know, when they could just, you know, worry about, you know, not stacking the box and you know, keeping guys in coverage, that was very beneficial when you've got, you know, the guys that they have personnel-wise. But, they got better, but I think that's where the questions will hopefully lie unless you look at the quarterback situation, which seems like a guarantee, but is Sam Leavitt fully ready to go with his foot? You know, how much is he able to play and practice? You know, whether it be the spring, he's going to participate in drills, but non-contact stuff. Is he ready in the fall? Is there any sort of controversy with that starting job? That's obviously the big question, but the defense, you know, as a whole, we'll have to look at that as well.
Kiffin did say in the signing day press conference, he did say that he'll be able to throw. And that's to me, that's the most important thing of his, you know, developing that chemistry with he's got to throw with his new targets. He's got to get that timing down. You got to know how, you know their nuances of, you know, their route running and, you know, learning his nuances and how he throws, get comfortable, you know, with his ball. Just create that timing, that offseason. But can he do it where he doesn't compromise the recovery of his foot? So, you know, why is the foot one of the slowest healing things? Because you're on it. We're on them all the time. So we'll see about that. You know, we'll be monitoring it. But, okay. And they brought in a lot of depth at the quarterback position, too, in case of that also. So be very interesting, and we'll see about that. Don't forget our friends over at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. With running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with the bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers like Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, and David Henry, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Stop on by and visit with any of our team of bankers at United Community Bank. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Live at Walk-Ons in Bruley, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Don't forget our friends at the Thibodeau store. The Thibodeau store, can't wait to get my green egg going again. I'm waiting for it to. It's about that warm, but it's real close to green egg season. So, you looking for a green egg or any type of outdoor cooking, you know, for the springtime? You're going out to the box and doing some of that stuff. Festival season is just around the corner. You got to check out our friend Matt Henry. The best best tout that Max has ever put me on is the Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store. He told me long ago that this store is like, I love this store. What do you love about a store? I went in there, man. You got everything, Jack. I mean,
it's like adult outdoor kitchen Disneyland.
It is, and then. I mean, you can get everything from, from your groceries to cleaning supplies to heating, ventilation, air conditioning supplies, lawn and garden, outdoor living, pet supplies at the Pierre Part store. It is lumber, you know. Need to do my log rack for the winter for my firewood. Had to get a couple of 2x4s, just, you know, at this certain length. Went back to the lumber yard. Boom. Really, really awesome stuff, man. So the Thibodeau store, the Pierre Part store, the LaRose store, and the Lockport store. So it's one big happy family. You've been into any type of outdoor cooking, go visit our friends at those stores. LSU was supposed to be playing at 3 today against Kent State. So I go from the Horizon to the MAC in competition. By the way, did you see the newest member of the MAC?
Sacramento State?
Yes.
What?
Northern Illinois goes to the Mountain West Conference from the MAC, and Sacramento State pays, I don't know, roughly $15 million to join the MAC.
Pride.
Jeez.
Nothing says Mid-American like Sacramento, California.
The pride of Cam Scatteraboo, right?
Scatteraboo is from yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. His highlight film from Sacramento State is pretty good. He took an onside kick and on a recovery. He was on the hands team. No hands. He busted it. I mean, in which I when we talk about Dart, man, he lost his weapons. I know. Look, the $1 million thing is he's got a. And Kiffin's system has not been exactly pro preparatory friendly, NFL preparatory friendly. It just hasn't. But at Dart, man, it just opens up when he's in there. He's got the tough part figured out. You got to slide, dude. How many times did he? I don't know, 6, 7 times. He was in the blue tent this year. We know about the games that he missed, and he was still taking on guys and taking some vicious hits. But he lost Scatteraboo. He lost Malik Neighbors, and they were still able to move the ball. So, I don't know. We'll see. Look, Texas Tech wasn't the best, whether it was Mike Leach, whether it was Kingsbury. That was not a system that was the best to develop a pro. Mahomes is different. Dart different like that? Max?
I'm lower on Jackson Dart than the consensus on him. Well, we saw him at Ole Miss. I think there are some concerns there with accuracy, with the system that he played in. Which is very favorable to offenses.
I agree. So, but
obviously he's got to get down. He's got to protect himself.
But I've seen him in the NFL, and the offense just breathes when he's in there. I'm going to be wrong on him. Based on what you said, well, I've already seen that at Ole Miss. I didn't think he was going to be effective, a quarterback at the pro level. But I think I might be wrong on that one. But they did do a redraft, right?
Yeah, depends where you look on the redrafts. Yeah, but redraft of last year, you could see Jackson Dart as high as 2 behind Cam Ward.
Ward was number 1 in some lists?
Ward was still number 1, and he had an impressive end of the season. I know Tennessee was largely irrelevant out of everyone's eyesight, but we saw the Saints play him head-to-head, and he's still got some next-level throws. He's got the arm talent, that top-end ceiling of maybe a Shuck, but maybe even higher than that in terms of just some of the throws that he can make that a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL even can't.
It's a pretty good pickup to get Harbaugh, I think. Man, got run his course in Baltimore, but
the Giants? You talking
pretty good
about?
Coach, yeah.
He interviewed the teams. No, it was a matter of he didn't go through. Would you look at some of the retread? I mean, Salah is going to Tennessee?
Well, see, Tennessee is interesting to me because I know Salah. I know it didn't work for the Jets. He was at the Jets. Who does it work for with the New York Jets? That's an incompetent franchise, and they bring in as OC Brian Daboll, who the Giants really wanted to actually, according to some reports, move up to number 1. As much as they like Dart, they really like Cam Ward. They tried to see if they could get there, and ultimately couldn't. Daboll is the quarterback guy. He's deciding these things, so he gets to work with a young quarterback in Cam Ward. I think Tennessee is an interesting team as maybe a bit of a riser next year.
He is credited for developing Josh Allen, and yes, he gets some of it. How much is $1 million question? You just don't know just how much of it was just him, a freak talent, just developing over the natural course, or, he helped him. He still does some things, in some games. I mean, damn, the game they got. What are you doing before half? Holding the ball on the field side, not even the boundary side, just like a loaf of bread. I mean, they got 11 guys who can fly on the field. What are you doing? So that many starts, that important of a game. I mean, so I don't know. I'm not. I thought Cam Ward was. I'd have my concerns about Cam Ward after watching him after 1 year. Not saying. I just don't know. He showed me nothing. He showed me that he's not going to be a bust. He's not. I saw just an incomplete on him. I want to pass. I want to see more. And certainly his coach, I'll give him a pass for dealing with that. But Daboll will. I guess I could do worse as an offensive coordinator than Brian Daboll.
Interesting. Like I said, I'm intrigued by him. I think Shuck gives you the more complete resume, obviously, in just 9 games than you saw.
He does?
Just just from what you saw a little bit more consistency at a high end. Granted, in 9 games, a much smaller sample than Cam Ward, but there were inconsistencies. There were moments for Cam Ward. It seemed like he did very good in fourth quarters, which, garbage time. That changes things. That changes your perception.
Who had a better group of skill guys, Shuck or Cam Ward?
It's Shuck.
Shucks was bad, man, at the end.
Yeah.
It was limited. They still had it's what and what not.
Yeah. Tennessee's isn't great.
It's what and what. No.
But I mean,
Tennessee.
Calvin Ridley, Shamir Ike,
both pretty bad.
Tony Pollard's your running back.
Pollard
Pollard
can play. Pollard can play. They run it again. I would say Tennessee probably had a little bit better running game than the Saints for sure. I mean, the Saints talking about taking a running back in the top 10 and a kid from Notre Dame. I'm seeing a lot of those mocks.
I've got to figure out my opinion on that because some people think he's actually the number 1 prospect in this class, perhaps. They really, really like Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, but that's just not a position you take very high and have a whole lot of success at. I know Saquon Barkley has been a great player. The Giants didn't succeed with him. Fournette was picked in the top 10. Genty, the Raiders were not ready.
I've got a strong opinion on drafting running backs high. If everything else is in place, go. Because you're ready to compete now, okay, go. Because a rookie running back can come from a Heisman runner like at Pitt can go to Dallas and win, the Super Bowl the next year. It's instant. It's the easiest position to impact. But if you do not have a supporting cast and you've got a lot of other weaknesses, it's wasted. And it's wasted in the years where before they get the tread on the tire. Ashton Genty is a nice back. Is he the last piece of the puzzle to the Raiders?
No.
How'd that work out this year? That's a wasted year, man.
I think
that's a wasted year.
The one challenge with Jeremiah Love, if he's available at 8, is the other positions of need for the Saints that you need. You still need edge rushers. You need offensive line help. You need a wide receiver, which those will be available at 8, but do you want a receiver that valley there? You need some guard play. I think they're going to look probably in free agents markets for interior offensive line. It's just some of those needs that you also have aren't necessarily all that available, the top names at number 8. So if you need other things, where else are you going to go? What positions are you going to go? Maybe edge, but what other positions do you take at number 8 if it's not Jeremiah Love and he's available?
Saquon Barkley. Was he the last piece of the puzzle for the Giants?
No.
How'd it work out?
Did not.
Kind of wasted. Was he the last piece of the puzzle for the Eagles?
Pretty close.
How'd it work out?
You
get, Earl Campbell flipping the whole damn team around. Those days are kind of done.
Herschel Walker.
Well, Herschel never did it.
Yeah.
Herschel never did it. Now, they thought he was the last piece of the puzzle with the Vikings. It didn't work out. But
you're going to pay top 10 money. You better.
But I mean, it's just
sure.
they are being devalued more and more and more, and so the Saints, you might have found your long-term solution at quarterback. Okay, that's fine. I'm not ready to brush off the have him fitted for a gold jacket just yet, like a lot of people in New Orleans are. But yeah, I think he's made plays from the pocket with a limited supporting cast and got better over the course of his starts and his appearances. Okay, there's something to be optimistic there, but he's far from a given that he's going to be a good quarterback in the league. I'm sorry. We got a long way to go before that. But the other thing is, they got so many other pieces. So
it's a coveted window. If he's the guy, you got him on his rookie deal, and we all know the power of that window.
Live at Walk-Ons in Bruley, where, man, it is warming up the patio. Plenty of patio space over here. Plenty of TVs to watch baseball, basketball, whatever. Golf, We got a great golf tournament this past weekend. We got it all for you. March Madness is just around the corner. So with the conference tournaments and also the NCAA basketball tournament as well. Live here from Walk-Ons in Bruley, live at lunch on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, winded down the last 20 minutes or so of today's show. So I tell you what, big Monday, Syracuse at Duke, nah. Syracuse not that good. Thought they might be a little bit decent. They were competitive against some of the teams earlier in that Las Vegas tournament. But the night game, the late game, no, this is a good one. Houston at Iowa State. And Ames has been recognized as, one of the top 5 toughest college basketball places to play. They've had some pretty good teams along the way. But, about 3 or 4 years ago, it would surprise you of their winning percentage at home. It was on display against Kansas on Saturday. Blowout city. There's no doubt. Love the spot. Kansas coming off of an emotional win. Those type of spots have been really, really good. But Houston and Henry, the deal with Houston was, man, they're always going. They put that rubber thing on top of the rim, and they practice missed offensive, on offensive rebounds, and they rebound and defend. And it's still a locker room and a culture for a program that Kelvin Sampson can get after his guys when they interview his players and when they ask him about how he's, demanding of them. He said, "That's why we came here. We want to be coached." Things like that. That's rare in college basketball today. So if anybody can handle the arena, but also TJ Alsenberger, who was kind of a dud at UNLV, he's kind of going just past, these future lottery guys in finding these stretch 4s and stretch 5s who can bring it out and create space for other people. I think he's got the number 1 3-point percentage guy, a stretch 4. Over 50% from 3. I mean, he's recruiting to a system and a little bit more coachable roster as well. Iowa State's getting better and better and better with their strength of their program. And they don't have the deep pockets at some of the blue bloods. But, man, this is going to be a fun game to watch tonight.
You're talking about tough to recruit to. Ames, Iowa?
Yes.
But, Kelvin Sampson, I don't think gets enough credit, Jimmy, for that was really a career that was resurrected. I mean, he was kind of at a low point when he got fired, and then to land at Houston. And really, when you play Houston, you better bring your big boy pants because they're tough, they're physical, they're mature, they're grown men. They D you up and get in your face. So he's you got to give him credit.
The one thing about them, though, this year, they're not quite as physical, not quite as good defensively, but they've got way more firepower. One game we saw that it was a Saturday afternoon game. I think it was in Lubbock, maybe. But yes, Texas Tech had 55 points at halftime. Will Kelvin Sampson teams give up 55 points and a half win? Never. It was a record. It wasn't even close. Okay, and how many games he's coached. But then they also had his freshman, Fleming, what's his name? It starts with an F, but the freshman, when the 3 freshmen went for 40 that day for Houston. He had a freshman go for 40 points. When does that happen? So is the offense going to be improved enough, but still the defensive rebound is going to be enough? Or did they lose some of that? So is it enough to overcome? Man, both 23-2 and 22-3 in the Big 12. That's pretty damn strong.
How's that more not made of Auburn's stupid decision to hire Stephen Pearl?
When you have the best coach that came through, Henry, you get to handpick your successor.
But come on, man. That's he has no more accountability for those wins.
How much did Bruce Pearl have we not seen that before? I mean,
not a job like that, and a guy who.
Well, how good is that job?
Well, when he took the job, it was arguably top 10.
When Bruce Pearl turned it.
When Pearl resigned.
Pearl raised it. There's no doubt, but I don't know about that.
Well, I'm saying.
I mean, this is a program where you have one really special coach.
Yeah, but come on, man. I think we're going to look back and go, monumentally stupid decision.
Well, I mean, Jimbo Fisher, Bobby Bowden handpicked his successor. He earned that right. I mean, man, Auburn was so dead. Pearl's, I'm sorry. Bruce, you stepping down? Okay. But I'm sorry, you're going to give the guy 2 or 3. Man, I might give him 1 year. Might 2. Maybe 2. Maybe they are more of a basketball school, and maybe they'll commit that way. But that's not totally uncommon.
Mike Martin Jr. didn't work out at Florida State.
No, that's a classic case. But who's going to tell Mike Martin who shouldn't be the best?
But Mike Martin Jr.
Who did
had
Skip
been on
Bertman?
staff
Who
for
did Skip
10
Bertman
years.
handpick? Smoke Laval.
Yeah, but Smoke was a lifelong baseball guy. This guy was in pharmaceutical sales in 2017.
Oh, okay. I don't know, Steve. He's been on his bench for how long?
Yeah, since then. But, I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know. For as good as this isn't Kennesaw State. I mean, it's an SEC job. Great home court. Anyway, I think I'm surprised more's not made out of that.
Oh, no. It will be considered a mistake. I mean, no doubt, but
because the juice is gone. What's their record now, Max? What's Auburn sitting at?
They are cruising towards bubble range right now.
9-10 seed, 8-9-10.
Oh, they're about. I would say Lenardi's bracketology will have them about a 10 today.
So they're 14-11, but they have the strongest strength of schedule. So they're 33rd KenPom team, kind of
33
that area.
But what are they now in the league?
Auburn. Sorry. They are in the league.
They have a losing record now, huh?
Yeah, 5-7.
Yeah.
Yep. League's good, not great.
They're third this year. Clear 3 behind the Big 10 and Big 12.
That one thing about Houston and Iowa State tonight, Houston does not get to the line at all. That's their problem. They got to be more aggressive offensively. 357th in the country in field goal attempts per game.
What does that tell you? Well, they're ahead of 8 teams, Max. So the 365. They don't have quite the dog in them. They really don't. They are much more explosive. But what that tells you is they're not attacking the rim and they're settling for jumpers. I mean, that's if you got that's basketball as old as it is, and that's just not their style of play. So some of that physicality mystique is a little bit gone, but they've got more scoring. When they played Baylor in that Final Four one year and had like 9 points at halftime, those are gone. So I'm just curious with the balancing act.
And they're a good free throw shooting team. There's no reason they shouldn't try to get to the line.
That's better. No, their shooting is way improved as a team, but attacking the rim, the physical, tough guy, defending and rebounding, it's still good. It's still better than most, but it's not like where it was. And man, Henry, he had one. And think about that. Yeah, his career was resurrected. How dare he stay on the phone that long with recruits, huh? I mean, that's how far we've gone. I mean, Indiana, oh my gosh, we got to make a change. Excessive phone calls.
How'd that work out for him?
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good. He's done. Now, he's complaining that he's not quite getting all the money that we think from the Fertitta Fund, because he's saying that he's really downplaying the financial support of his payroll.
Look, there's one thing about this new age of NIL and rev share specifically. There's some politicking among other coaches on staff, football is getting some money right now. They're going to be a top 25 preseason team under Willie Fritz next year. So they've got funding for the football team, and maybe that's not something he's very used to, is competing with football for so much of their rev share dollars.
We'll take our final time. I'll come back and wrap things up on this Lundy Gras edition of Live at Lunch, live at Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Walk-Ons in Bruley on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Well, I think I'm going to be going with the Iowa State Cyclones tonight in that matchup. Really kind of a light schedule in college basketball. How long is the NBA off, Henry? When they resume?
Thursday. They'll be back.
Yep.
It's one thing we don't have a problem with our local team, huh? With the Pelicans, they're trying hard. They're not tanking. So they have no motivation because they don't have a first-round draft pick this year. There are some people, because they're talking about in Silver, did have to talk about expansion and things like that. And, we're talking about maybe Seattle. We're talking about Las Vegas. Everybody thinks LeBron is going to head a Las Vegas team. But they're also talking about, have you expanded a little bit too much in places? And the first market that people point to is New Orleans. Yeah. I mean, they're really struggling too. I mean, their ticket office, I get things all the time about courtside seats available for ridiculous prices. Just, So
it's a tough sell, man. And I think it's behind Memphis. I think it's the smallest media market in the NBA.
You can't. Zion's actually played in the games. How many of the 40 roughly? That's not
more than we
more
thought.
50. It's about 38 of the 50.
He's played this year. He's played 40 games.
Out of how many?
What's their record?
It's roughly
this year?
50 games is where they are.
Neighborhood.
40. So around 80% of the games would take that. Is he still have? He is in better shape. He loves taking his shirt off after some of the games. I mean, waistline don't lie. I mean, he's about in as good a shape as he can be in. Can he still be coveted? Can you? Is he not a trade piece there?
The soft underbelly with Zion is our waitress is a better defender. I've already seen her move best east-west here. I mean, he doesn't play any defense. And so you're going to get, 23, 9, and 3, but he's going to give up,
the same.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
So he just won't, the effort part there on he won't because he could be. And that's when he was coming out the league. So, okay, but he's far from polished. He played 1 year of college basketball where he's so much bigger and stronger than everybody else.
When everything was at the rim.
But he's going to be a matchup nightmare for other defenses. But who is he going to defend?
Exactly.
What's his position, too? Where do they put him? And with Derek Queen's
Max is a positionless league more and more.
I just don't know with his lack of height. But, when he's shared the floor with Derek Queen,
that's it, because he's so damn strong. But, yeah, he lacks length. Yeah, I see what you're saying, because that would be he's going to be, thinner guys. He's going to go right through taller guys. Hey, look, we're off tomorrow. Max is doing a show, though. We do have a local show tomorrow. We'll be live at Doe's Eat Place. He'll have Ace Seminara giving his college picks. He'll have Andy Esco with his normal stuff. And also Max's own version of First, Second, No Class. So Max from Doe's tomorrow. For Jordan back in the studio, pushing all the buttons, this has been Live at Lunch from Walk-Ons in Brewley.